Hello everyone, my name is Dash, the founder of Podoshka Foundation. We are based in Uganda, Kampala, and we run, Podoshka is an intersectional organization that runs both for humans and non-humans to see that there is unequal justice within the world of food justice. Basically what we do is that we focus our work on human education, direct activism, and yeah, that's it.
Amazing. And can you share a little bit more about why plant-based eating is important to you? How did you originally get interested in this and why?
The reason why plant-based eating is really important, I think it's something that really even shouldn't be discussed about, because by default, that's something that we're supposed to be relating with, basing on the where our world is moving and the crisis we are facing. You know, looking back at all from the 90s, all the problems regarding our health we have been facing with so much tied to the meat industry and everything, to date facing the corona and so much and so forth. So ideally, I feel like plant-based eating is the best way to move forward, both for us, the animals, and the planet.
Amazing. And what advice would you give to students who are either maybe interested in plant-based eating, or maybe they want to start a career, find a career in the plant-based food sector, they don't know where to start? What did you learn from your own experience, and what advice would you give others?
From my own experience, I feel like it's really important to understand the demographics of where you're coming from and the nature. Basically, like here, we are having plant-based industry that is so mature, meaning there's so much opportunity rising up, right from policy, grassroots, you talk about alternatives, you talk about nutrition. So there's a lot of juice, should I call it juice? There's a lot of potential within the industry, and people don't know that much yet, okay? And one of the fastest growing industry in the world is the plant-based industry. So the best advice I can give to the kids is to invest a lot of their time and understanding, the critical understanding of what they're willing to get into, especially this, and it will be a perfect way to go.
Can you talk a little bit about the plant-based diet in Uganda, and do you think the native diet there has a lot of plant-based foods naturally? Like, do you think it's easy for people to make that transition? Because a lot of people have this misconception that a lot of food is just like you need meat, you need dairy, you need all of these animal products for a healthy diet, but people forget that most of the world has very plant-centered diets. The native diet is very plant-based. Can you speak to that in the African context or Uganda?
Basically, Uganda, because that's where I'm from, I would say that you look at most from the central, basically, the most native food are plant-based, okay? But what the problem is that like across all over the world is that people are attaching plant-based, they're attaching food and nutrition to financial status. So you find that people really want to show off, okay? Of course, minus, like I would say basically Uganda, minus, especially like for girls, minus buying an iPhone, the best thing they feel like they'll attract financial to show that they're really well off, it will be how they eat. Basically like chips and chicken, okay? But it's really not an essential. And if you look at even today, even the schools, you know, from the past, the best meals that they've been giving kids have been plant-based. It's just now that they feel like for a school to be really posh, I must have chicken, you understand? And guess what? They have not yet explored the alternative side of it, and they have no idea about it. So basically, I think we can really survive because we have seen it in the past. Our families, right from families, kids are being raised up to the age of 12, up to the age of 18, really feeding on this kind of meals, okay? And then same with universities, same with, you know, with schools, high schools. So basically, it's something good to go and something we can all survive on.
What advice would you give to a student who wants to start eating more plant-based but doesn't know where to start? How did you start your journey? What tips would you give to transition to that way of eating?
I think the best way of transition is gradual, okay? You don't have to have too much pressure onto yourself, okay? You don't have to feel like, because everyone wants to make change in their lives. But if I want to make change, if I want to put a building in an open space, I'm not going to start with a roof, okay? The best thing is start gradual. Start with what you have, the small, okay? With that, make more research, understand the whole aspect of the plant-based meats, okay? Because ideally, that's what most people are going into. And another critical advice I would give is for people who are trying to switch is to reduce more on the GMOs and try something really raw, okay? It's always better to understand where your meat comes from, sorry, where your meals come from. And necessarily, you don't have to go into kitchens, you don't have to go into restaurants when you have certain kind of veggies right onto your doorsteps. You want to understand this, just have maybe a very small, tiny garden around your doorsteps, okay? Learn these things from, baby steps are always fine, okay? To take baby steps is something so fine. So if you have your small garden, just learn how to garden things yourself. include that in your meals, things are gonna be okay. My journey, I took on the plant-based health life in 2018, and as you can look at me, I'm malnourished. I'm really dying, and I don't think I'm surviving my next 2-3 minutes. So yeah, that's the way to go, probably. So yeah.
Amazing, yeah. Protein deficient, right?
Yeah,
All of us.
I have no protein at all. I'm really badly off, so I'm malnourished. So yeah.
Well, it seems to be working out great for you because you're doing some amazing work in the world. So
Yeah, we're just trying. So exactly.
thank you so much.